When I tell you I would... Before we start this video, I just want to say Happy New Year! It's literally the first day of a new year. It feels like opening up a fresh box of new, I don't know. It always just feels so good entering a new year. Thank you guys so much for your support. In 2024, we were able to hit 7,000 subscribers in less than a year, which is crazy. And I just feel like 2025, it's just gonna be even better. Not just for this channel, but for you guys as well. I just really feel like 2025 is going to be the best year yet. That is my motto for the year. Whatever goals that you have in mind, you will achieve it. As long as you put a plan together, whatever goal you have, write it out, and then write out the steps that you need to take in order to get it done, and give yourself timelines. And whatever it is, you will achieve it. I'm speaking it into existence for you right now. Thank you guys again for all of your support throughout the past year, and let's get it going for 2025. All right, now we can start the video. Hello, little enzymes. Welcome back to Daisha's Digest. The topic of today's video is going to be updates. And then we also have another story, news story that also has updates. But a couple of stories that I just read recently have some updates, so we'll go over those. All of the information will be included in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. At the time of me recording this, we just hit 7,000 subscribers right before the new year, period. Thank you guys so much for your support and for subscribing. I know the last couple months was a little rocky with me moving and everything. My posting schedule was all over the place, but now we should be good. All right, let's just go ahead and get into the video. So one of the stories that has an update that we read the other day was about the sister-in-law who was pregnant, who brought peanut products into a house where the child had a severe peanut allergy. I'll put the link in the description, but the name of the sister-in-law in the story was Laura, and I guess I pretty much gave the synopsis. The OP, who was the mother of the 8-year-old in that story, kind of went on a rampage, rightfully so, because they almost lost their son previously to a peanut allergy, and so she just like threw everything away all at once. The sister-in-law and her husband, which I believe is the OP's brother? Yeah, it was OP's brother, the lady who was writing the post. Yeah, they got mad, left the house, they got the in-laws involved, and everybody was pretty much on OP's side because, like, why would you bring peanut products around a kid who has a severe peanut allergy? And she was being so careless with it too, just leaving it out, not putting things like lids on things, and just, it was a mess. So there actually was already an update. For some reason, I just didn't register that it was like a different update when I was looking at her profile, and then a couple of people commented and said that there was another update. So here it is. It says, update, am I the a-hole for throwing my pregnant sister-in-law's groceries away? A lot of people asked me to update, so here it is. Warning, this is a long one, and if I wasn't an a-hole before, I sure am now. So after my mom berated Laura and my brother yelled at my husband and I took the advice I was given and sent them a long text, which ended up being a bit of a ramble about everything, how messed up the situation is, how we're disgusted by their stance, and how we'll be going low contact until we feel ready to be around them again. That was the day after my brother packed his bags and left. I was left on red, and I thought that was that until a few days ago when I got a call from Laura. I thought about not answering it, but curiosity got the better of me. When I picked up, Laura tried to make awkward small talk, but I think she sensed I wasn't in the mood and got right to it. She apologized about her behavior, said she had no excuse other than her hormones, and we ended up having a long chat about everything. By the end of it, I actually felt better and like we could get past it and work on our relationship. She also mentioned that she would still like for my family and I to come to her birthday dinner. It wasn't going to happen in a restaurant anymore. I guess the hotel stay ended up costing them a lot, as some of you predicted, and that it was going to be at their house instead. I told her that I'll talk with my husband and get back to her. So, side note, from what I remember, the reason that the sister-in-law and brother were even at OP's house is because they were like house hunting in that area or something, and so they were staying with them, but I guess when they stormed out and left, they had to end up staying at a hotel. So they actually do have a house. I think it's just like in another city, or it's just further away. And yeah, so Opie says, I also got a text from my brother apologizing and saying he was just trying to protect and stand by his wife. It was too soon to start mending things, as my husband pointed out, but he left the choice up to me, and I honestly believed her apology because she had never acted like that before, and she seemed actually quite ashamed of herself. Anyway, my sister, who was also apologized to because she also tore her a new one, and parents also got an apology, were also invited, but my sister's kids wanted a cousin's sleepover instead of going with us, so after talking it over with my sister, we agreed for them to have one at my house. My babysitters of a year are my next door neighbors. They're sweet and responsible 16-year-old twins who live with their single mom. They usually team up and tackle on my kids on date nights. There's a reason I'm mentioning this. With my sister's added 2 kids to the mix, I asked their mom if she was free to join their duo, and she agreed. So I called Laura and told her that Richard and I are coming. When we got to their house, Laura greeted my husband and I at the door. We handed her the gift and went in, but she seemed puzzled that we didn't have a trail of kids with us, so I reminded her that it's just us adults tonight. Same thing happened when my sister and her husband walked in. Dinner was awkward no matter how we tried to lighten up the mood, and the conversation was stilted at best, but I thought it was at least a step forward. Laura asked this time about why the kids were not with us, that she had made special food for them. I never mentioned the kids when I got back to her, just my husband and I, but I felt like it was my fault that I didn't clarify, and so I apologized for it and thanked her for thinking of them. My sister chimed in that her kids and mine were having a cousin's sleepover tonight and how she was excited about our soon-to-be nephew to join them when he's here and older. Laura looked at her with a smile and said, "Yeah, I'm sure he'll be best friends with his cousins, as in my kids, and his step-cousins, as in my sisters." This pissed me off because we don't use step anything with the kids, but I bit my tongue. For context, my sister is technically my stepsister. I know I used stepdad in my first post. I usually call him by his first name. I consider him a parental figure since he raised me since I was 10, but I had a dad and the title will always be his. My sister gave her a hurt look, but it was my brother who nudged his wife with a "what are you doing?" look. A few minutes went by again with eating and light convo before Laura asked again about our kids, mainly who was watching them since all 4 parents are here. I told her that my neighbor and her daughters are babysitting, to which she laughed at and joked about how incompetent the girls and their mom must be to need all 3 of them to wrangle the kids. Also, for context, I have 4 kids. I'm biased and like to think they're well behaved, but they're sometimes too much for one person to handle, even me, and I'm the one that brought them into this world. Add my sister's 2 kids, and it's a lot for 2 teenage girls to handle, even for just a few hours. We left at 7 and said we'd be back at 11. It has absolutely nothing to do with the girls, whom my kids adore, or their mom, who is as kind as they come. Before I could retort anything, my mom stepped in with one of her smiles and told Laura that it's so kind of her to offer her own competence and watch the kids next time. That shut her up real fast. This sounds like a very uncomfortable dinner. Like, the passive aggressiveness, the little comments. I feel like you can cut the tension with a knife at this dinner right now. So OP continues, after that, dinner was even more awkward until we cleared the table and Laura brought out dessert while my brother got the cake from the fridge. Here's where I lost the last of my remaining brain cells. I went to the bathroom, and when I came out, I saw my husband carrying my bag and trying to usher me out of the front door to leave. He looked pissed, and I was beyond confused and obviously resisted because, yes, the dinner is a train wreck, but let me at least say goodbye and give a lame excuse for our departure. When my husband tried to literally carry me out, I knew something was wrong, and after a couple of tries, I darted past him back to the dining room. Ooh-wee. Laura's now ready dessert table consisted of peanut butter cake pops, peanut butter pie, peanut butter cookies, peanut butter brownies, and to top it all off, a peanut butter birthday cake that my brother brought in and was sniffing at with a horrified look. Laura then gave me a big smile and said loudly to my family, I thought I should at least get to have my cravings on my birthday. Get your fill before she throws these out too. Boy, when I tell you I would... Laura, I don't give a goddamn what her medical situation is. Okay, are you kidding me? That's attempted murder. What else? You know my kid is deathly allergic, and you prepared this special dessert because she said she prepared some food for the kids. So Lord knows what she had put in the food. So you prepared this peanut butter filled dessert knowing my son is deathly allergic to peanut butter? We would have had to call the police. I would have had to call the police on myself at that moment. Because, OP continues, I honestly thought for a second that my sister was going to tackle her and I wasn't that far behind her because all I could think about was the fact that she thought my kids were coming and she planned this accordingly. I've felt so guilty for allowing the stuff in our house the last time, and if my sister's kids hadn't wanted the sleepover, I was going to walk my son into danger a second time. I lost my shit. Without thinking about my actions, I grabbed Laura's head, forced her towards my brother, who was, I think, too shocked to react, and slammed her head straight into the cake. Period. I held it down as long as I could while she flailed, and I told her I hoped she chokes on her cravings before I let her go. I honestly wanted to go for the pie too, but I had embarrassed myself enough by acting like that in the first place, so I told my brother that I'm done with both him and his wife, and if they tried to contact me or my family again, I'm filing for a protective order. Then I let my husband lead me out. My sister was cackling as she followed us with her husband, but our parents stayed back. I heard Laura screaming profanities after us, but my stepdad raised his voice, which shut her up. I got a lot of jokes about his frown on my first post, but the man is as stoic as they come, and him showing any emotion is a big deal. I remember that his frown alone growing up was enough to literally stop my sister and I in our tracks because we knew if he gave us one that we messed up. I haven't asked my mom what happened after we left because I can't handle any more heartache from my brother or his actions. Okay, I'm gonna just pause before I read the rest of this. I honestly don't think the brother had anything to do with this because from the way she described it, even as he was bringing the cake out, he was sniffing it like, is there peanut butter in here? And she said he even had a horrified look on his face. So while I do think he was wrong in the first round of updates and stuff that we read because he was all mad because he said that OP made a big deal or whatever, he was like complaining. In this specific instance, I don't think he knew that his wife was going to do this. But her last paragraph here is, I don't think This was the update anyone wanted, least of all me, but I'm completely done with both of them. Even though my brother looked like he had no idea, the stuff was in his house happening under his dang roof. I'm sad I won't be in my nephew's life and my kids won't get to know the new cousin they've been waiting for, but I'd rather cry over that than over my son's life, period. I don't expect anyone to be kind in the comments. I'm 32. I shouldn't have been so naive, and I know I shouldn't have reacted like that, and I'm going to be dealing with that with my therapist, along with the guilt I'm feeling, but please take it easy on me. I'm still shaken up. I'm also looking into family therapy for my kids so they can better process not having their uncle and aunt around after them having been a close presence in their lives. This is unforgivable. Nah, this is unforgivable. She wouldn't be around. Nah, OP made it. OP probably did what I would have did. She probably did what I would have did. Ooh, I just can't even fathom. The comments, your brother will lose his family or his wife. She won't allow him to have both. Someone said, does the woman not care about her husband's family at all? Like she already knew that her standing in the family is not good. Why go and ruin it to the bitter end? Someone said, because she's a harmful person who has just successfully isolated him by alienating his family. Another person, bingo, came here to say exactly this. It was never, not even once, about the peanut butter. This was textbook isolation, and unfortunately, the brother has absolutely fallen for it. And now he has a baby imminent with this monster. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Ooh, shout out to the people who told me about the update because I was not expecting this. This is crazy. Someone said, when Laura invited you all for dinner at her place, I was thinking, there's no way she's gonna do it, right? There's no way she would purposefully serve nuts, right? Holy crap. This woman needs psychotic help. She either wanted harm to befall your child or still has not learned the consequences of her actions from last time. I wouldn't believe any more apologies from this woman or your brother. Until your brother divorces this woman, he needs to be kept away from your children just as much as she does. Slamming her face into the cake does not make you an a-hole. It makes you a parent who understands that this psycho needs more extreme measures to get some sense knocked into her in order to protect your family. Right. And even if he divorces her, like if they still have like shared custody or whatever, that's still tricky because I feel like she could try to use the kid to hurt the other kid. Like I could see her putting like peanut butter snacks in the kid. Like I could just see her doing some crazy stuff. For her to do this, I could just see her doing some crazy stuff or even telling the kid that their cousin likes peanut butter and then they don't know. I don't know. I could just see her doing some crazy stuff. Okay. Anyway, so I think that was actually the last update because I'm looking at her profile and I don't see anything else. So we'll go ahead and go to the other story that had an update. This is another one I read the other day. I'll put the link to the video in the description, but just as a synopsis, OP is a 43 male. He has a current wife, Amanda, 42 female. Yeah, they've been together for the past 6 years. They have 2 daughters, Becca 4, Eliza 2. And then he also has 2 kids from a previous marriage that are older, Liam 17 and Sage 15. So the wife Amanda has always known that he has had these kids. The only reason why they don't live with him is because something happened with the custody. So him and his ex-wife or the mother of those kids, they split custody. I think the older kids are there every other weekend and every Wednesday or something. But for some reason, Amanda just don't like the older kids. Like she just don't vibe with the older kids. She always trying to look for something that they're doing wrong, always trying to accuse them of something. Side note, the younger kid that they have together, OP, and the new wife, Becca, 4 female, has a biting issue. That may or may not be relevant in the update, but I think that's pretty much the synopsis. So things kind of came to a head because Amanda, the new wife, something happened with one of the older kids and Becca, the one that bites. Becca bit one of them, and I think they like pushed her off instinctively or something. And so then she was like, see, like they need to leave. The kids need to get out the house. And I think she took her kids to a hotel or something. She left. And OP was like, no, my kids are staying with me. Amanda, I think, finally admitted that she just didn't like the kids. So yeah, basically Amanda just doesn't like the older kids, doesn't want them living with OP, was expecting for them to move out once they turn 18. OP was like, no, that's not gonna happen. And here is the update. I told my wife she could leave and I wasn't going to kick my kids out. Edit, can everyone stop telling me to save text messages? I'm not stupid, guys. I know that. All 4 of my kids are okay and with me. Amanda is still at her parents' house. My older 2 kids have told me some disturbing things that they've been feeling since moving in full time. It took me a while to get it out of them. They said they've been uneasy and have felt like if they put a single toe out of line, they'd be forced to go back to their moms or be homeless. They've been trying to be good and perfect and nice, and they're getting worn down. They say they don't know what changed in Amanda because she used to love them and be kind to them, and I didn't have a good answer, but I told them it wasn't their fault. My son said he's worried that she'll tell the younger ones lies about them or something else, and they were uncomfortable being around the kids even though they love them. My daughter again offered to move back to her mom's if Liam can stay, which broke my heart. So that's another thing. The older kids were staying with the mom and her new husband, but there were some issues with the new husband where I think he was mistreating the kids too. So now they live with OP full time. So he continues, Liam said they would live with my parents if they'd have them, which hurt even more. I told them they weren't going anywhere. They said they know how upset I was after the divorce and don't want that, but I told them repeatedly my marriage wasn't their problem to worry about. Meanwhile, Amanda has been texting me nonstop. I've not been responding unless it was about Eliza and Becca, their 2 kids. She has said some incredibly cruel things about me, my older 2 kids, and our relationship, basically telling me my kids just want us to break up like their stepdad and I shouldn't let them win, calling them spoiled and entitled and smartasses who would ruin my life if I keep letting them. I obviously ignored that, but between all this, she texted me a list she wrote of her non-negotiables for her to move back in. They were all pretty deranged, except one did say she wanted cameras put up in common areas, which I've already decided on and ordered. But other than that, she demanded cutting Sage and Liam out of the will as they will get money from their mom. What? Which is insane. And also, it's not like we're expecting to be able to leave much to anyone. The house is one I had bought with my ex-wife. She wants to sell it and buy one to start fresh. I want to point out that when we got together, I told her I was definitely going to be staying in this house until my kids went to college since it's their childhood home. And now it's our girls' childhood home, so I won't be leaving. They would need to find somewhere else to live when they turn 18. That's also insane because she knows I think that's trashy and they turn 18 the middle of their senior years. This lady is just... She said she did not want to have anything with my older kids, including family events, dinners, and vacations. And yes, that would mean excluding my oldest from any family vacations, pictures, all of that. She does not want our daughters around Sage or Liam. She wants veto power over any extra time or money I'd be spending on Sage and Liam to make sure things stay fair. And probably the most deranged one was that she wants half of the child support their mom is sending put into a retirement account in only her name. What? Why would she get half of the child support of kids that she doesn't even want to be around? That doesn't even make sense. Opie said it was immature, but I just did the haha thing to that text, and she's sent some other BS texts to piss me off. I talked to my father-in-law earlier today when he picked up / dropped off the younger girls from church. He seemed annoyed with the whole situation and referred to it as Amanda's little tantrum. Originally, the girls were going to go home with them, but they threw a fit. Luckily, I'm off work this week to be with them. The sad thing is that Sage and Liam have been avoiding the younger girls, which is devastating for them, but I'm trying to work on explaining everything right now. I did find a therapist for my kids this week. It's out of pocket, but obviously I can't wait longer. I don't know what Amanda is up to. She FaceTimed the girls earlier, but I don't talk to her. I don't know how fixable this is. I told her if she wanted therapy, I'd set it up, and she was emphatic that was not necessary. I told her that was my non-negotiable, LOL. So, not a great update, but it's nice to get feedback. I might not update much if things go the way I think they're going, but I have to do what I have to do. Period. Protect them kids, bruh. Protect the kids. It's all about the kids. It's so interesting that in this story and the last one, almost as soon as the women got pregnant, they just went crazy. Like in the last story, they said that they had a good relationship with Laura, the sister-in-law, like for a long time. Like she was in the kids' lives for such a long time. And then now she's pregnant and like she's changed. I don't know. Like what happened? And then with this one, he said that she got along with the older kids for years. And then all of a sudden after she had a kid of her own, it was like, oh, forget the older kids. Like it's just me and it's just our family now with OP and the younger kids. So I don't know. That's just odd. Anyway, let me go to the last story. This also has an update. The title is My Father Left My Family Because He Found True Love, and now he is mad that I am cutting him off my life forever. I never thought I would actually write this, but here we go. I, 17 male, am the oldest child of my family. My father, 44 male, my mother, 43 female, and my little sister, 15 female. Throughout my life, I have always loved my father and idolized him to the point of making him proud, being my whole life purpose. In 2019, he had to immigrate to Europe to prepare our lives there and be away from our homeland forever. In 2022, we finally reunited with him, and from there, I thought it was the end of our struggling. But then, after just 2 years, he started acting funny. He got a job as a hotel driver, and from there, he changed completely. He stopped hanging out with me and my sister. He started coming home late, and then just ate and went to sleep. We felt so distant, like he was trying to stay away from the house. My mother was the first to notice this, and slowly, their relationship began to break down. One day, I had a beach hangout with the school, but when I was preparing, I heard shouting and it was my parents fighting. Apparently, my father cheated on my mom with a single mom with 2 kids, 13 male and 6 female, from Morocco last January, and this whole time he was spending time with this woman. Then my father, out of wrath, grabbed my mother's arm so hard that it wounded badly, blocking blood flow, and it got to the point where she threatened him with a sharp object. It was a hard thing to process, and after this event, 2 months later, he was slowly drifting away from our family responsibilities, like paying the bills, school, etc., and it became obvious he no longer loved us. The annoying part is that he claims he still loves me and my sister, and he will always be with us. We are not dumb enough to believe that, because if he actually did, then he would at least participate in our responsibilities. I feel so lied to and so manipulated. I idolized this man. I saw him as my ultimate guider on how to win in life. And now he is nothing but a lustful man who will go for any woman who isn't my mother. Thankfully, we are in a much better state, especially my mother. We accepted that he is as gone as dead, and we even began claiming that my father is just purely dead if anyone asks. However, from time to time, he still tries to contact me and my sister, and I don't know what to do. I also want to mention that my mother can easily file an order against him for assault using the photo she took of the wound he gave her, and also some threats in their old chats. But because all of us are devout Christians, my mother had mercy on him and refused to press charges. They are still not officially divorced, and I don't know what to do about it. If anybody wants any information or has any advice in my situation, then I would truly appreciate it. Thank you. A tale as old as time. For him to be a devout Christian, he sure is a little loose in his drawers, ain't he? You know, I'm a Christian, okay? But it's a pet peeve of mine when people enable bad behavior under the guise of being a Christian. God didn't say that people can just get away with abuse because of Christianity. That don't even make no dang sense. So you're not filing charges because of Christianity. And likely she probably hasn't gotten a divorce because of Christianity. So you're staying in this harmful situation because of Christianity. It just doesn't make any sense. The God I know, that wouldn't be wise. I couldn't see him signing off on that. I just couldn't see that being a decision he would think is a good one. But hey, to each their own. So some of the comments, someone quoted the post, quote, "But because all of us are devout Christians, my mother had mercy on him and refused to press any charges," end quote. I'm a Christian, and I urge you to consider that forgiveness does not mean freedom from consequences, right? Forgiveness is a gift that is given to someone who repents and changes their ways. But to fail to hold someone accountable who has not repented and changed only gives them a license to further harm others. I firmly believe this is not God's intention, as it does nothing to further the kingdom of heaven on earth. Consider your safety and your mother's safety. Pursue the order. They said that perfectly. OP responded, "Thank you for clarifying. I should probably tell my mom the same thing. But from a logical perspective, he isn't living with us and he has no information on us nor the house. He has the keys to the house, sure, but nonetheless, he wasn't any harm after this incident. This incident happened in June of 2024, so it would be just a useless effort considering we have other problems to deal with. But thank you so much for your advice." I still think they should file, because it's just good to have something on record, even if they're not filing for an order of protection, at least to report it and have something on record saying this is what he did and we have evidence. It's just all you just never know. You just never know. Someone else said, "I'm sorry for the crappy situation that your father's actions put you and your family in, and I commend you all on coming together to protect your mother's safety and dignity and trying to succeed in life. I also understand the strong urge to leave sleeping dogs lie and not wanting to pursue a divorce between your parents due to the discomfort and unpleasantness that facing him again would entail. However, in addition to what the previous commenter said about forgiveness does not mean that you don't hold one accountable for their actions, please also consider the legal ramifications of your mother continuing to stay married to him. I'm not sure which country you live in, but being the legally married spouse of a person gives the other spouse several rights and privileges. For example, if your parents co-own the house you live in and your mother passed away suddenly in an accident without leaving a last will and testament, your father would automatically inherit the title to the house. Or if your mother were to get seriously ill to the point where she was hospitalized and unable to make decisions, your father, as the spouse, might get the right to make such decisions on her behalf, including whether or not to disconnect life support systems, etc., ahead of you or your sister. The above are just some scenarios and may not be accurate based on where you live, but that's all the more reason for you and your mother to consult a divorce lawyer and at least talk through the pros, cons, and ramifications of choosing to stay married versus suing for divorce. Good luck, and I hope things turn out the best for you. That was also some good advice. I didn't even think about that angle, him still being able to have access to make decisions and stuff on the mom's behalf. That's a risky place to keep yourself in. So OP responded, "The house isn't owned by us. It's rented by my father's friend, whom we pay him a monthly amount. We all live in Spain, but my parents were married in the homeland, Egypt. So their marriage is only recognized on paper that can be undone by the divorce. However, in one of your scenarios, if my mother was hospitalized or even dead, without the divorce, me and my sister would legally be forced to live with him as he still holds custody. Right now, we aren't financially ready to fill the divorce, nor do we know how it works in Spain. But my mother thankfully is considering the divorce when the time comes, but sadly is not considering filing a police report, and I don't know why. Okay, so 21 days later, there was an update. It says, "Hello everyone. Last month I made a post on how my father left me and my family for a single mother and how he is mad that I don't love him anymore. Well, sadly, this isn't a positive update. It turned out my father wasn't paying my sister's school bills since last month, and all this time the school kept my sister out of pity. But now it's getting very serious. It's been proven over and over again that he isn't involved in our lives and needs. The logical conclusion would be that we file a report against him for child negligence. However, because we are so financially stuck to the point where it's sickening, I try my best to stay strong for both of them, but I don't know how much I can take." To add insult to injury, he gets offended when I disrespected him and ghosted me for disrespecting your father. At this point, I want to do serious bodily harm to the man. I don't know how we can stand on our feet in order to file for the divorce and make him pay. I am sorry that the update wasn't positive, but I promise to let you guys know if anything finally got together. Also, thanks to everyone who advised on the consideration of divorce. My mother finally agreed to it, but sadly, we can't go as far as reporting him to the police for the assault back in June, as the case will likely drop, and like I said, we don't have the money. Again, thanks to everyone who was concerned, and I promise for any update in the future. So that's the thing. Just to report the assault is free, right? Like, just to report something that happened, you don't have to go through with filing a case, but just to simply report it should just be free. You shouldn't have to come up off any money, but they say they're in Spain, so I don't know. Maybe it's different over there. Some of the comments, someone said, "Is there any way you can legally make him support you guys financially?" I don't know how the system works in Spain, but especially since your sister is under 18, he should be obligated to pay to support his children. Another person responded and said both child support and alimony exist in Spain. I don't understand why OP's mom hasn't started the process for these yet. She needs to think of the kids first, even if her soon-to-be ex-husband has left her feeling like crap. Right. They over there struggling. Go ahead and get that money. Someone says she's so Christian, she's putting her pride over her children. OP responded, "Not really. We are so financially stuck, let alone the fact that she is busy looking for a job since she became unemployed because of him. She considered the divorce though, just not the timing. Because my parents got married in Egypt, in Egyptian law, there isn't something called a child support. The father can fight for custody, but he isn't obligated to pay anything. The Spanish government only recognized my parents' marriage, but they can't judge them based on their laws due to them still being immigrants." Ah, okay. I see where the complication is coming, because it looks like they're not like citizens of Spain yet, so they don't have the same like rights. Dang, that is a complicated situation. Okay, 5 days later. "Hello everyone. I want to make this quick update before going offline for Christmas. Before I begin, I would like to thank everybody who corrected me and informed me about some of Spain's divorce policy. I am truly grateful. And I would like to apologize to anyone who got confused by my post. I want to highlight that I wasn't very knowledgeable in how the system works in the EU, and some even doubted my story because of it. These details my mother doesn't usually talk about, so I am not quite in it. Again, my apologies for my misinformation." About the update, it is finally official. My mother will be getting a divorce and possibly the child support also. My mother has connections to the people who have other connections with lawyers, counselors, etc. I am not sure when the court case will happen, but it will. I am also not sure if she will file the police report for the assault back in June. However, I am still grateful. She is even taking driving lessons in order to get a driver's license and possibly a car by January. I am truly happy. We are still financially stuck, and my family back in Egypt, my father's side, of course, took his side, and I was forced to cut contact with my cousins, although I love them so much, and it looks like this Christmas is going to be very lonely. But at least things are getting themselves together. I will update you on when the court case will happen. Again, thanks to everyone who took concern. I am truly grateful. Merry Christmas. Oh, okay, so she will be able to get the divorce. Child, I don't know how things go in other countries, but I'm glad some people were able to educate him in the comments and get him in the right direction. It seems like he's just kind of like doesn't have all the information, really. Maybe the mom hasn't given him all the details, but hopefully they're able to get some financial support. That's just messed up that the dad just kind of like left him hanging. That's messed up. So yeah, they need to get all the money they can. Someone said, good for you for standing up for your mother. Edit, remember what his leaving did to your family. Use this lesson to create a beautiful, stable family for yourself and treat your wife and kids better one day, period. Because who does that? Like, that's just crazy. And so there's no additional updates that I can see from his profile. So that means we will go to the palette cleanser. Before we go to the palette cleanser, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I just wanted to shout out my other channel. I will put the link in the description, but this is actually my second channel. I had a first channel that I do lifestyle content, vlogs, and stuff on. It's called Daisha View. So if you want to subscribe to that channel or at least go check it out, I will put the link in the description box. I haven't posted on there in a while, but one of my main goals for the next year is to post on there also more regularly. So stay tuned. And I also have some videos that I already have on there if you're interested. So let's go to the palette cleanser. This is from the Made Me Smile subreddit. It is so cute. The caption, the title says different personalities at home and at school, and the text on screen says how my kid said he would pose for picture day versus what he actually did.
All right, next week is picture day. How are you gonna smile?
He's so cute.
That's how you're gonna smile? They're gonna say cheese. How are you gonna do it?
Cheese.
That's how you're gonna smile?
Yeah.
This kid, for people who are not watching, this kid is so cute. He literally looks like a Pixar kid. Like they could make a cartoon out of him. He's so cute. But the smile that he gave his mom is just a regular like cheese smile.
Okay.
She put the proof of the of the actual photo from picture day. This dude has this suave look on his face with his hand on his chin and one hand in his pocket. Oh my goodness. He just thinks he's so cool. It's hilarious. The stark difference from what he said he was going to do to what he actually did is, I thought that was so cute and funny. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.